Good evening, everybody. I thought it was time to show up and make a new video. I have been very grateful for the very positive feedback I've been getting to the video I made about being peculiar, and I have tried to up my audio quality a bit, though I'm not very good with audio settings, so I'm hoping that over time it will get even better. But I'm very happy actually that so many people took the time to watch the video and to learn from it. And I thought today that I'm going to go a bit off the cuff and answer a question that I received in the comments on that video. The question asker already answered his own question, so it's not necessarily meant to answer the question asker, but instead it's meant to just discuss a bit, because the question I got was by Mr. Redstone Freedom, and I'm going to assume that that's a he based on the Mr. title. And he had two questions. Basically, he's talking about this moment when I wanted some extra lines to do my multiline edits on in the video, and so he's asking, how did I add these 4 lines? And he also asked how did I increment the numbers? So that is the question. Those are the questions I'm going to try and answer now. So to be clear, he already answered his questions. That's why I am not showing the reply here, because I think it's a great opportunity to just have fun and discuss a few ways to add multiple lines in Vim, and to compare a bit. And also, I'm very happy to get input on this afterwards, because this is not meant to be comprehensive. I'm just having fun and discussing some different ways of doing this, and I'm learning Vim like everybody else, so I'm very happy to take suggestions and feedback and learn and grow. So I think this will be fun. I'm going to open up a Vim session. I'm just gonna open up a template markdown file, and so maybe the easiest way to add multiple lines in Vim is to just put a modifier in front of the insert command. So if I would do 4o and then type temp1 and exit, that will give me the 4 lines. Of course, I have this extra line that I have to delete. Oh, by the way, I'm going to turn off spell check so it doesn't look all weird and blue. So that's one way I could do it. Another way that I could do it, it would be which is the one I used in the video, which assumes that there are some extra lines. I'm going to use the same trick to add some extra lines here. And then what I did in the video is basically I opened up a visual selection box with Control V, went down a few lines, and did capital I to insert, typed temp1 and escaped. And that does the same thing, adds those lines. And with regards to bumping the numbers, what I did is I did a visual selection, did G Control A, which will increment the numbers, as opposed to just doing Control A, which will increment all the numbers to the next one instead of doing them one by one as a ascending number chain. If you wanted to, if you start at 1, you have to omit the first one when you do the visual selection. If you instead start at 0, then you can do G Control A, and then you have to include the first one. So that's all well and good. Some other ways, of course, I did show you Vim peculiar. So another way I could do this is something like that. Does the same thing. Feel free to watch peculiar for more on that. By the way, I'm just going to quickly add here as well that I've changed the prompt since last I made the video. So now if you do the G command in the paragraph, then you're going to see this new weird prompt that doesn't have, that actually is a command line call instead. And the advantage for that is that it supports incremental search, so that I can see what I'm matching. But it works exactly the same way, because when I'm done with making the search, I press enter, and that will put me into normal mode, and I can make a change on only that line. So it works exactly the same as before. Back to adding multiple lines. Another way I could have done this would have been to make a macro, and I could do something like, let's assume I have temp one here already. I could make a macro, and then I could copy the line, paste, increment, and then I can just repeat that macro as many times as I want, and that will also give me the incrementing numbers. One fun way, maybe my favorite way of doing this, is to rely on the fact that originally Vim, its heritage comes from BI and not on from X and Ed. It is a very old technology in essence, if you think back to VI. And I'm going to show you now one of the main features of VI, which actually, to this day, I feel way too few people are talking about it, because it is so powerful when used in the right way. So basically, Vim integrates very well with the shell, to the point that you can pipe any number of lines into a shell command and replace them with the output, which is absolutely amazing. So I will, for example, here I will make an example. I'm going to, let's say I would wanted to do this in Python. So I could do something like for I in range 1, 5, right? Because that's what we were doing. And I can do print, and we'll do an f string, and we'll say temp I, like this. And I can do exclamation point, which will put me on the command line with the line selected and then the exclamation point. And this will pipe whatever is in these lines into a program that I choose. And I'm going to choose to use Python 3.8. And when I do that, that replaced the code C, it replaced the code with the output, which is so cool. I mean, if I were to do this instead in, let's say I would do this in JavaScript. So for, and by the way, you should use snippets for this. For let I equals 1. Oh, I really need to make a video on my snippets because this takes ages. I is less than 5, I plus plus, and then we're going to make curly braces and we're going to say console.log temp I, like that. And then in order to do a multi-line selection, what you do is you do one exclamation point and then you can pass a text object, for example, in paragraph. And if I now pass that to node, it will also give me those multi-lines. So I hope this has been instructive in some way. This has been fun. I'm very grateful to Mr. Redstone Freedom for his comment and for taking, and to everybody else for taking the time to interact with me. And I hope that we can keep this going, that we can keep learning together. And like I said, this is in no way meant to say that Mr. Redstone Freedom couldn't figure this out, because of course he already has. It's more just to take the time to show and play around a bit with some of the more interesting features in Vim. So thank you very much and have a great day.